Incoming hail from General Pepper. Priority 1 communication. Patching him through now.
We need your help, Star Fox.
Hey there, General. You seem a little on edge.
Andross's invasion has found its way to our doorstep. His forces are laying siege to Corneria as we speak. The Corneria Defense Force is spread too thin. I need your team to get down there and launch a counteroffensive.
That's no small ask, General. But as it happens, my team's available to deploy immediately. For a price.
The first ever video game experience I remember playing was Star Fox 64 on a friend's indoor porch. I was probably 5, and this friend I don't even remember wanted to show off their new game. It's in this moment I found my lifelong obsession. Fast forward almost 30 years later, I refused to buy the Switch 2. It was pricey compared to the original Switch, and Mario Kart was $80. Looking at how PlayStation and Xbox have been moving away from producing physical games entirely, which I covered in some earlier videos, I saw the right to ownership is kind of in jeopardy. The last beacon of light for owning games in physical form is Nintendo. Now you can rattle off a long list of questionable decisions they've made and I won't fight you on them, like the way they fight piracy, or the audacity to charge $80 for Mario Kart World, but Nintendo sells games as a major part of their business. The Japanese, from what I hear, still love physical media, so I believe it's not entirely lost on Nintendo how much easier it is to pirate games in the modern day, which probably makes them red in the face just thinking about it. When they announced the, 4th or 5th iteration of the same story tracing back to the original Star Fox in 64, I was apprehensive to say the least. After finally grabbing a Switch 2, this was the first game I purchased. A good Star Fox reboot or remake needs to keep enough of the original's DNA intact while also breathing in new ideas into the story to make it feel different enough from the others. As difficult of a task as that is for anyone to do, Nintendo pulled off the impossible. This is the absolute best Star Fox game I've ever played.
This is Peppy. All systems go.
Falco here. G-diffuser seems fine. Let's go already.
Enemy targets up ahead. Let's rock and roll!
Jumping into the new version of Corneria for the first time, the water, the mountains, the sky, all look incredible. Nintendo absolutely nailed the game's visual style. Every planet and setting you visit in your interplanetary journey looks much better than I could have ever imagined. Fans were torn over the way the Star Fox team looks in their new hyper-realistic art style. I even uploaded a short making fun of how strange I thought Fox looked in the announcement trailer. It was jarring to say the least. But I've grown to like their designs. The game fits their new aesthetic, and I honestly think everything fits together pretty well due to the environment's realism. The only member of the team I still think looks a little strange is Slippy. There's something about him that just doesn't jive with me. Perhaps he doesn't look as realistic as the others? I'm not totally sure. There are a slew of other updates and additions to the remake. Firstly, you can play co-op in campaign mode as well as a revamped battle mode. That's a pretty nice addition, considering the original's multiplayer battle mode was an unlockable feature and a bit plain and dull if you ask me, and the career mode was strictly a single-player affair. There's new fully animated cutscenes between every level that didn't exist in the previous titles, obviously, and they add more atmosphere to a game already brimming with it. Couple that with the addition of the Holo Viewer, with character profiles and added lore, a challenge mode where you replay levels with mission objectives that give you unlockables for your efforts, and you have a complete Star Fox game that pleases longtime fans as well as newcomers. Speaking of newcomers, I almost forgot to mention the new Easy mode, a great way to play simple, breezy playthroughs for fun or as a means of getting reacclimated to the new levels and controls.
Challenge accepted. Still think you can outgun me, Fox?
Where did these enemies deploy from?
It's Andross's armada. They got the drop on us.
Hey, not cool, Fox.
Defend the Allied fleet. Don't let any of them past us.
We all remember the three-handled Nintendo 64 controller. For me, the act of doing aerial maneuvers like a somersault or a U-turn was a pain to pull off in the original. You had to point your joystick in the proper direction, then hit a specific C button in order to pull it off, which I often got wrong. On Switch 2, the D-pad pulls off these moves with the press of a simple button. Since your left hand is already near the D-pad when using the left thumbstick, in the heat of an all-range mode battle, you can hit the up or down buttons to pull them off. It's much better than it was in the N64 game. When talking about controllers, Star Fox supports the Nintendo Online 64 controllers, naturally, but the game also has a brand new feature that blew my mind: mouse controls. I originally played Mouse PI for Hire using the mouse controls, and it played even better than the original controller, giving me faster reaction times and a more accurate shot. Likewise, I found mouse controls to be more accurate in this game as well, but painful for periods of time lasting longer than 10 minutes or so, with the extra movement required. Both my hands and wrists really wouldn't allow for much more of it. Could be because I work a desk job full time and I'm always clicking and using a mouse, but I'll leave that up for you to decide.
There's a strange signal. I'm sending the data back to you guys.
You're the first one to put the Blue Marine through its paces.
That glorified bathtub is no place for a real pilot.
Try a barrel roll.
It can do that?
When collecting footage, I attempted to beat the game on normal difficulty with the alternate ending you can trigger by not allowing any of your teammates to fall in battle. Similarly, I beat Star Fox 64 by doing the exact same thing, which sees you face off against Andross, but once you blast his face to smithereens, you must then destroy his brain by shooting the back of it, which is just as hard as I remember. What I recommend doing when trying to get the true ending is, if you're low on health toward the end of the game, restart from checkpoint so you don't have to use any of your lives or continues. This allowed me to take chances, relearn the boss battle, and plan a proper strategy. I finally beat Andross on my last life. It filled me with the same sense of accomplishment as when I beat 64 and got the true ending years ago. If you ask me, that's the mark of a great remake. In a world inundated with re-releases and nostalgia bait, Star Fox has that Nintendo magic that falls right in the middle of familiarity and new ideas that keep the spirit of the original game alive while also carving out its own path.
I'll target the lights on the left. You guys go right.
Cat, what are you doing here?
I wanted to meet your new gang.
Aren't you going to introduce us, Falco?
Cat, Star Fox, Cat. Happy now?
Star Fox is the game I remember, but with a new coat of paint and additions that make it stand the test of time, not that the earlier games needed them. I was critical of the thought, the simple mention this was being made. I knew most remakes don't quite stick the landing, so I was worried one of the games I hold the most near and dear to my heart would suffer a similar fate. Thankfully, I was wrong. The game doesn't change much of its core, but what it does change, mainly the controls, are a noticeable improvement. The characters are still lovable, even when I'm always bailing them out. The graphics are spectacular, making the most of the hardware, despite not being as powerful as PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. The arcade gameplay and extra game modes make it easily replayable, and the game is accessible to all skill types. As I was writing this review, I saw Nintendo added what they call game sharing, where someone with the game on Switch 2 can play multiplayer with anyone with a Switch 2 or any of the original Switch systems. despite not even being released on the Switch 1. This is a love letter to fans and a series that has always innovated in one way or another. If you have a Switch 2, this is a must-buy. Support physical media and let me know your thoughts of the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
We must remain vigilant.
Thanks again, General. This is all real nice. But we've got places to be. Call us if anything comes up, assuming you can afford us. I think our rate's just gone up.